The Nigerian Red Cross Society has launched an emergency appeal to raise 13 million Swiss francs for flood victims across the country as part of our humanitarian support. The Secretary General of the Society, Abubakar Kende, made this known during a press briefing in Abuja, saying the funds will be used to provide clean water, emergency shelter, and cash assistance to about 500,000 flood victims across the country. Kende urged individuals, organizations, and the international community to donate the relief materials to help alleviate the human suffering being witnessed as a result of the floods ravaging the country.
According to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, an unusually heavy rainfall in 29 of Nigeria's 36 states has resulted in massive flooding, which has displaced more than 1.4 million people and affected over 2.5 million people. Bayelsa State in Nigeria's south-south region was reportedly the worst affected, with its capital, Yenagoa, literally cut off and about 700,000 people displaced or are affected as at 18th October. The flooding has resulted in over 600 fatalities and more than 2,400 people injured across the country. Beyond its direct disastrous effect, the floods have triggered a cholera outbreak in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Latest reports now confirm that at least 2.8 million people have been affected. At least 612 lives have been lost, and more than 2,500 people have been injured. 2 million people have fled or were evacuated from high-risk areas, carrying only the belongings they could take with them. Since roads have been cut off, vital commodities like fuel and food cannot be moved while trucks have been stuck for weeks. This disruption of Nigeria's transport system will have a direct impact on the inflation, which is expected to soar. Right now, the Red Cross manages several IDP camps across the country, providing displaced persons with practical and actionable instructions that they can use to seek better health outcomes and mitigate the effect of the flooding. Our volunteers are executing anticipatory actions in Cross River, Jigawa, Kebbi, and in Nigeria Red Cross, British Red Cross Disaster Management Project in Imo, FCT, and the Lagos. We are also carrying out awareness creation in all 37 branches, that is the 36 states and the FCT. We have carried out relief activities, including evacuation of affected persons to Saver Grant, awareness activities on water, sanitation, and hygiene practices. The Nigerian Red Cross launched an emergency appeal in order to raise 13 million Swiss francs, which will be used to support up to 500,000 people and focus on the provision of healthcare, water, sanitation, hygiene promotion, search and rescue, rapid need assessment, deploy emergency first aid team, and many more. If we get this fund, the Red Cross will use them to scale up these activities across the 37 branches of our organization. Across Nigeria, Nigeria Red Cross has mobilized over 10,000 volunteers, 514 staff members who are actively supporting state emergency management agencies in evacuation, camp management, and relief activities. While the Red Cross has gotten a few promises of assistance, the task before us is huge, and we need all the help we can get. And we would like to appeal to the general public and private sector to kindly donate resources in order to aid the Red Cross effort in the flood disaster and alleviate the massive human suffering.
The situation of climate change across the globe is really caused a lot of mayhem, among communities, particularly rural communities. Especially us, where poverty is rife in our community. So this is actually a big phenomenon affecting almost the whole globe. As a national society, been mandated to provide assistance to mitigate, response, where possible, prevent. Both natural disasters and, of course, man-made disasters. We are really up and running. In time to see that we support, provide assistance to people. For that reason, we even had a focal point, to work with the relevant authorities and partners across Nigeria. We already have quite a good engagement with the Ministry for Environment, even trying to work also closely with the UN agency that is also supporting climate change to see how we can provide assistance and some mitigation efforts in Nigeria. Clearly, what he says is very true. Most of the climate change, the floods we have, drought, and of course, livelihoods, because it aims to exacerbate, to cause more problems for people's livelihood. How many people can go to the farm? What is the level of rainfall that we are receiving? Too much desertification, aridity has taken over quite a number of communities today already in Nigeria. So, and this is very critical that we really need to provide the required education and, of course, also mobilization of communities to see how they can assist themselves in preventing, minimizing the impact of climate change.